Is it time for the PlayStation 6? As specs allegedly leak for Sony's next console, we take a look at the current generation and ask if we're anywhere near ready for the next one. Also, we're chatting all the latest upcoming games as we get ready for the next assault on our backlog. And in this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, it's a harder choice than you think as we're naming the best RPG shooter game. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host, Liam Kirkkelvin. Of course, today I'm joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott? I just about stuck that.
You are enjoyed by it. I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying that intro. And you're also joined by me. I'm very well. It's been a nice day, you know. It's been a warm one, but also not. It has been a day for washing, Liam. A nice breeze in the air. I'm telling you, that's what you need. The heat, but a breeze. Perfect washing, drying weather. Peak.
I'm telling you, man.
It's class, man. And we've just come back. Literally minutes before we came on here, my daughter was still awake because we've just come back from the park. My wife is in the midst of, return to work. Fear, and every single time I finish work, it's now like we have to go and do something before she goes to bed, because it's like she wants to try and squeeze the last few smouldering drops out of summer. And yeah, she's absolutely well within her reason to do so. So we're at a wee park there, and it was lovely. And tired my dog out, and now she's just KO'd on the floor over there. So I am now here, ready to pounce on gaming chat and denounce the thoughts of PlayStation 6, because I'm just not having it.
Just banish it, man.
I'm not having it.
You've answered the question. That's it. Thanks for tuning in.
This will be the most engaged podcast ever, because everyone will finish it. Like
exactly, yeah. That's
2
true.
minutes. That's you. You're done now.
That's exactly true, man. I do want to say, like, I know what you mean, but try to squeeze out every last bit of the summer. It's dawned on me how quickly it goes. I was saying that to my wife the other night. Like, as a kid, it would go by and people would transform, particularly in high school. Looking back on it is absolutely hilarious. Like, people would change their entire personalities, wardrobes, everything. It's like, it's been 6 weeks, mate. You've not even been paid twice. Like, it's unbelievable. But it's, this summer's been a bit different because I've not had any time off over it, changing jobs and stuff like that. But I've still managed to, muck in where possible. I've really been enjoying the weekends, just the pizza oven, Scott. The pizzaiolo, whatever you want to call me, that's it. I am the dough man, that's it. All I've been doing. All I have been doing is just burning out motors and contraptions and just trying to find hacks to make dough. But outside of that, it's been a weird one game-wise this week. Like,
mate, tell me about it. I'm about to have quite possibly one of the deepest conversations that I think I'll ever have about video games, because I've had a fucking week with it. I really have.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not exactly where you are, but I think I'm far from it. We'll get into it. We'll only just get knee deep again. Like last week's conversation, which was, soapbox time, right? Obviously, we are like a niche podcast, as some would say, Scott. But we could just kind of we do toe the line, a lot of general topics. I feel we do a public service to our fellow gaming parents out there that might be thinking, what's the big hitters in that we need to be keeping an eye on? But, see, when we do those deep conversations, man, the damn podcast, it's just, I look back at it, it's like, how do you follow it up? How do you follow it up? Because it's so heartfelt, sincere, and then you come back to it next week, and then there's this chaotic energy in there.
Farts and
talk about farts,
shits and everything, man. It's
Ibiza final boss, everything. Like,
if I could grow the hair, Liam, if I could do it, I would do it for everyone, because I'm halfway there.
Costume.
Like, I'm halfway here. In fact, I'm there. I'm a third of the way there. All I need is the bowl cut, and I'm there.
Oh, do you know what? There's a charity stream idea. We'll do a charity stream and Scott will dress as the final boss. That'll be
He's
the
the
final
final
boss.
boss. We'll play.
Oh,
We'll play Silent Hill 2.
I'll dress as original Rock, with the fanny pack. That's what I'll do. Before he was a corporate shill. Or was he always? That's the
Always
question.
was.
Always was. Always will be. Then, now, and forever, the shill.
The big drink energy. It took me a while there, but that Zoa energy ad from the Game Awards that year. Fuck him, man. Fuck the Rock.
He might pop up again. God knows, man. God knows. I digress. We've got some stuff to talk about. Before we do, we'll just get some housekeeping out the road, and I'll try and get this thing back on the rails. So for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, a weekly podcast by parents who game. For those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising our little ones. Now, every Friday you can listen and see your old dads talk video games on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already, so you don't miss our wonderful mugs. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello to us. Share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky. Write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. You can even leave a wee comment below. You can do that on Spotify now as well. Technology, It's a wonderful thing.
I wonder if anyone reads Spotify comments.
I do not know. I know I do. Whenever we get a Spotify comment, it's definitely getting read and appreciated, might I add, as well, because people have taken time out their day to do that. But it's always nice to hear from them. And on that note, if you do like what you hear, you want to support the show, you can leave a 5-star review, share this podcast online with your friends, and of course that does really help us out. So thank you to everybody that has done and everybody that continues to join us each and every week. We heart you. So, Scott, all that out the way, you said you got something deep for us, right? So I'm not going to ask, what have you been playing this week? Because you haven't been playing much, have you?
I have not. It has been the deepest of gorges in terms of my gaming time this week. It's been horrible. I've felt a part of me die inside. Even my wife has noticed that I've been like weird. She's like, why are you being weird? And it's like, I just can't settle on something to play. I finished Death Stranding just after we recorded last week, and it still continues to be 10 out of 10. I can't be bothered talking about it anymore, but
yeah,
play it, go and play it, whatever.
Go listen to the last couple of weeks and you'll hear
it's great. I mean, it's hilarious, and I'm happy that it's out the road, but it left a huge gaping hole in my life. Like, I don't know if it's the emotional impact of it, the time sink of it, but I finished that game and I'm usually just like, right, next thing. And I tried, Liam. I tried so hard. I've tried to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, couldn't be arsed. I turned it on and turned it off almost immediately after. I've done the same thing with, Tactics Ogre Reborn. Turned that on, turned that off straight away. I bought Into the Breach on the Nintendo Switch because it was cheap. Turned it on, turned it off again. Played the tutorial for it, actually. Turned it off almost immediately because I couldn't be arsed. I then went to my Xbox. I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. I didn't even finish the Foundry level because I just couldn't be arsed with it anymore. Like, I was like, I don't like this. Like, there's something about it that irks me, and it's the controller, I don't appreciate the music that's in it when it's like all the new stuff until Motorhead Ace of Spade comes on, and then everything's fine with the world all over again. But apart from that, I just couldn't be bothered anymore. I was just like, the numbers are rising, but nothing hurts. There's nothing like sticking to me here.
Yeah.
I've downloaded Lost Odyssey again to try and finish that on the original Xbox 360.
God,
couldn't be bothered doing that. Tried to play Final Fantasy 13 all over again. Couldn't be arsed doing that. Picked up my save for Final Fantasy 6 all over again. Played it for 30 seconds, turned it off again.
Jesus.
And this was all in one night, Liam. Like, I made a note of this. This is all in one night, where I just sat. I sat for an hour before just looking through the PlayStation Store, looking through PlayStation Plus, downloading games just for fun, just to see how quickly they would download, and then turning it off. Like, I've probably watched more King of the Hill this week than I've played games, right?
Tell you what.
And it hasn't been it hasn't been pretty. Like I've sat for ages, downloaded Lies of P. I'm like, maybe I'll get into that. I'll play the DLC. Then it's like the thought of actually doing it all over again. I'm like, I can't be fucked. Wu Chang Falling Feathers. I've tried to play that on the Xbox because it's on Game Pass. Again, I started the game. I literally moved 3 steps out of the initial opening of the game, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I can't face it. I can't take another one of these Souls like games or Wukong games again. Like I just can't be bothered with it anymore. So it really did set me back, and I was like, is there something wrong with me? Has Death Stranding broken me? Like, has Hideo Kojima ruined video games?
Well,
Maybe that's a podcast for another time. But for me personally, and it's like, this isn't a holding pattern for any other game that's coming up. I know Metal Gear Solid's at the end of the month, but this isn't me being like, oh, I want to wait till then to get into something new, because I'm quite willing to get into something huge because I've got a couple of weeks. But I sat for ages, Liam, and it hasn't been until last night. This is maybe 2 or 3 nights into this, where every single night I'd sit on my PlayStation, I'd turn on the Xbox, turn on the Switch, and I would just look through the lists of games that I have. Like, what do I actually want to play? And none of them were appealing to me at all.
oh man,
It was a complete nightmare. So eventually, it's transpired that the game that I actually I've played it now for a while and stuck with it has been The Witcher 3. Finally getting on top of it.
The cream has risen to the top, Scott.
It has. Do you know
all
what?
I will say.
I think I wanted something that you can play at your own pace. Like, I don't want to have to focus too much on a game like a Dark Soulsy type game where I have to literally be all in. I don't want a game that's going to take me like 2 hours to complete. So I was just like, I need to just find something that is that middle ground, and The Witcher 3 has stuck the landing for me. I've just gone to Velen, and I've met. Well, I have met Kira Metz.
Oh yes, I bet you've met her.
We've had our late evening rendezvous. Craig David, midnight rendezvous. Sorry, there you go. And I couldn't get that wrong. I couldn't get it wrong.
Just gonna do that pause for the rest of this. Yeah.
But yeah, it's everything that I've needed, and it's been a total, like, it's transported me back to when that game first came out and all the music and stuff like that. Like,
so
hearing parts of that music, the fighting thing where it's just pure la 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 la, and I'm like, we're back. Getting back to playing Gwent all over again. And I'm just working through the trophy list, Liam. So
Jesus, you're a madman.
It's before Metal Gear Solid. I'm trying to squeeze it in because this is all I do. I play games at night, and I play them for a few hours. So if I can squeeze that all in, then The Witcher 3 will be getting done. I've found a one playthrough, like a shorter playthrough speedrun thing on, it's like PlayStation Trophies or something, where it tells you how to play the game basically step by step by step, like every piece of dialogue you should be doing, everything you should be picking up, what you should be buying, what you should be doing at this point, what you should be doing at that point. And I've done all this before. Like, I've done it all. I've found City, so like I'm basically there. But it's class. Like, I've got to there. I've managed to make my way through it pretty quickly. So I'm hopeful that I can do that, and then I can enjoy the DLCs, and I can finally dip a toe.
They are. I've said it so many times in the show. Hence why the recommendation was made, or challenge. The DLCs are just some of the finest games you will play. They're bona fide Witcher sequels in a lot of senses, and it's so fleshed out. It doesn't feel like most DLCs do, where it's kind of like a little coda. Well, like, here's some stuff we kind of wanted to tell, but no, it's a fully fleshed out story. It's almost like a little vacation with Geralt. That's the only way I could describe it. And they're both very different and equally great. Well, put it fair, the second one's probably better than the first, but they're both equally fantastic, I would say. But yeah, I do feel for you, because I was here probably a few months ago talking about it. You're in that kind of Goldilocks mood. You're looking for something that's just right. It's either to this or to that, and it's a nightmare. And the best thing you can do, and you touched on it, it's like you've been watching some TV. It's the best thing you can do is just go do something else. And like it says, a few days later, it's all good. I mean, it's only right that you have those little moments, because I this week have kind of teetered on it, but I've managed to find a thing to kind of really, really stick to. Now, problem I had is like I've finished a game and it's kind of left that hole, like you says. Not so much a gaping hole in your sense, because Death Stranding 2 is a fucking marathon, whereas Donkey Kong Bonanza can be more of a sprint, even though it was about 40 odd hours or something to put into that. And there's still endgame stuff. Not going to talk about it. Go back and listen to the last week's episode for the verdict. But I thought, right, I've got Death Stranding 2 there. I checked with you. I was like, look, I've reached here. How long have I got to go? You reckon I'm about halfway through. So I'm like, cool. But the first thing that I got given, I have to traipse like pretty much that entire map that I've unlocked. And I'm like, I just can't be bothered right now. So I was just kind of meandering a little bit, going in between my usual rotation, Marvel Snap and stuff. And I've fallen back hard into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Unlike yourself, this thing, it's just been my main vice this week, and it's all about sometimes forcing it. So I'm like, Death Stranding 2, I still want to try and finish it before Metal Gear Solid Delta, but it's just like, I'm just not really in that vibe just now. I just need that little break in between, and Tony Hawk's has just been the perfect game to pick up just now, because it's summary, it's arcade based, and I can just sit there. And actually, at first I was a little bit apprehensive about the new tunes, and I said this a few weeks ago when it just launched, but actually I've grown to enjoy quite a lot of that new soundtrack, because I'm like, I would never listen to this in a month of Sundays. And to the point I was even in work today and I had the playlist on my headphones. I was like, I am going to go check that out. And just that whole pop punk vibe. I'm still a bit disappointed that 4 hasn't really been recreated how I would have liked, but I'm still grateful that I've got something here. Yeah. You know, it's just so much fun, and just kind of spent hours. I think it was like maybe last Saturday night, and I just sat. My wife went to bed, and I was like, I'm just going to sit and just play Tony Hawk all night. And it was like old school. Just had so much fun doing it. And yeah, I think on top of that, similar to yourself, but Monday came, and it was a momentous day because King of the Hill Season 14 had arrived. I've been waiting over 14 years for this, Scott, and it was so good. It made you want to cry. That's all I would say. Like it was like, I've never seen a show adapt the way that it did, especially in today's climate. And the big concern for me is, right, how does Hank Hill, like an old school, American conservative, react to America now without it being polarising? They've done it. And do you know what? I never at any point, I touch on that because I was never thinking I need to get back to the games. I'm just like, do you know what? Let's just chill. Let's relax. We've got a lot of big stuff coming this month in particular. It is crazy what I wanted to talk about today. Because I'm like, we're about to get this tidal wave, Scott. So there you are. You're playing Witcher 3. You're going to be absolutely loving DLC. Like you mentioned, before you know it, it's going to be time for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which, of course, that's the main event, isn't it, this month? That's the main event, and that's coming right at the end of the month, 28th August or 26th, if you've got the pre-order bonus or whatnot. But even this week, when this podcast goes live, you've got Mafia, the Old Country, out, which it did come to mind, because I was like, maybe a little linear experience like that, if I didn't know you were playing The Witcher. But I was like, a little linear experience like that could actually just be what you're after. But it looks good. I think I'm going to just have a wee wait to see either what the reviews say, or if, anything else happens. But I'm just going to wait to see what the reviews say before diving in on that one, because it can go one or two ways.
Aye, that's the problem with it. I mean, The Witcher 3, fuck's sake, Mafia 3 exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that didn't like the blue touch paper. Is that what they say? But I think that the vibe that the old country's going for, and the aesthetics of it all appeal. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why people love The Godfather 2. So it's I can make that comment because I only watched The Godfather last year for the very first time.
Well, at least you've watched it. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry to derail this for 30 seconds, folks, right? But what is wrong with The Godfather 3? Like, why does that exist?
It's just not Godfather 1 and 2, that's all. That's its only crime.
It's so shitty.
It's only crime.
He's like the Pope now. Like,
yeah.
What
Yeah.
fuck is going on? I just don't get it.
Some
So
would say it's like the Dark Knight Rises of its own trilogy. I would not agree with that, but
I mean, Dark Knight Rises is good. But yeah, Godfather 2 is class, and this is exactly what this game is. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what they should have been doing in the first place.
yeah, I mean, it's a smart move to dial it back from what we've seen, and instead of going bigger, they're like, you know what, let's pull it back a little bit. Equally smart to make it a lower cost title,
Yes.
especially in today's climate. So I imagine it should do pretty well, because I think this will appeal to a lot of casual gamers as well, because it's Mafia. It's like gorgeous setting, going back to the aforementioned old country. Yeah, it looks like to me it's going to be like maybe 15 to 20 hour absolute tops experience. Probably, I think I've already said, maybe even 10 to 15 hours. But for price of admission, I'm happy with that. You know, it's but I am still wary, because it's a heavy month, because that's the 8th of August, right? So when this podcast goes live, either you and me or one of our listeners is going to be enjoying it. And I'm hoping that it is good, and I'm hoping to get a good reaction. But then fast forward a wee bit, and I'm only just kind of picking out games I think we'd be most likely, either both of us or one of us. You've got this big fuck off glut of games right at the end of the month, which just so happens to be around about this man's birthday, where I turned 21 again. And you've got Gears of War Reloaded on the 26th of August, which will be on Game Pass, but it's also coming to PlayStation 5. So PlayStation gamers for the first time can play the best Gears of War game, which is the first one, and it'll be all 4K, 120 frames, all the rest of it.
Is Cole in this one?
Yes.
Good.
Coltrane. Yeah, so it's the OG one. Fantastic campaign, great multiplayer, full package, really. I'll play it on Game Pass. I have been tempted to be like, do I just pick it up on PlayStation for the novelty of playing Gears of War on a PlayStation? A very expensive experiment, so I will not be doing that. But happy birthday to me, because I will be off as well the day that comes out. But then you've got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Scott. Now, the 28th of August, it'll be 26th of August, because we both pre-ordered it, so we'll be playing it on that day, probably before Gears of War, I'd imagine. Or is it 27th?
I've ordered it physically.
Physically, there you go. But it'll still arrive early. For you.
Hopefully.
Should do. So that's my wee birthday gift to me this year. But I thoroughly cannot wait to just take a deep dive into that game. Feel like going again, 2 old games. You know, it's the month of the remakes and the month of the reboots. And then speaking of old games coming back, we've got Shinobi Art of Vengeance on the 28th of August. Again, it feels like it's going to be in terms of weeks of one's birthday, this is up there, Scott. You know, I'm very, very excited for Shinobi Art of Vengeance. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up, but that's going to probably be the one along with Gears of War that's going to get put by the wayside in favour of Metal Gear Solid, in which case I'm tempted to see other options on Shinobi. I need to double check, is it coming to Switch too? I'm not sure. Let me just have a little double check.
I'd be surprised
VR
if
check.
it wasn't, but it would be daft for it not to come to Switch too.
Yeah, the problem is they've not really given out the dev kits before.
Yeah, I was going to say
Switch 2,
that
so it's
the whole dev
not
kit
optimised.
Aye, that's the issue with it.
That's what stopped me this week. I was so close to picking up Ninja Gaiden on the Switch 2, but then I luckily had caught a review, and they're like, it doesn't run as you'd expect on Switch 2. It's very much the Switch version, and a better one will come later, so I'm happy to wait. But Shinobi Art of Vengeance, man, I mean, remembering the old Shinobi games on the Sega was absolutely unreal, man.
I just remember the opening to it, like the lightning and stuff like that. It was always like the coolest thing on earth.
Incredible, man. I was terrible at it, but as a wee guy playing it,
who was good at it?
Honestly,
it's like watching people play the original Ninja Gaiden, like speedrun that game, and they're literally just like running through it. It's like, how do you do this? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Double check the VR check. It is coming to Nintendo Switch as well as PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. Full winner. Love to see it. But yeah, busy month in August, Scott. And it begs the question, right? We're sitting here right now, you know, coming out of we've both finished big games, starting to kind of get things back up again. But when it comes to the backlog, we can't play all these games at once. I mean, we've got families, we've got jobs. We're not blessed in that way. We can't play them all to bring all the updates to our dear listeners. So what's going to be your approach? You know, what one? It's an obvious question, but outside the Metal Gear Solid Delta, What one do you think you're most likely to go out of that for?
Probably Gears of War, to be
Yeah,
honest with you. And it's mainly just because I don't have to buy it. It's
very
if
true.
Shinobi and if Mafia were on Game Pass or on PlayStation Plus, then it'd be one of those two either.
Yeah,
But it's with Ninja Gaiden this week. It's been the same. Like I've looked at it and I've been like, I'll buy it, but then it's also part of me is like, it'll be on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass within the year. Do you know what I mean? So like, just
yeah.
give it time and you'll see it pop up. But there's nothing else really there. Like I think The Witcher will take a long time for me to get through. Like I think, granted, I'll go if I finish the platinum quickly, I'll still go back and I'll play the game. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll still
Christ.
be going back and doing it. But
Bookmark
um,
this.
oh, I'm telling you, I'll get it done. But the I think it will be Gears of War because part of me's kind of wanting something like that.
You know, I'm glad you said it because I'm begging a co-op insane run.
Oh, of
One of,
course.
one of my proudest gaming moments is battering that game in insane. It's even better in co-op. Playing that with my cousin, and it just became a tradition. And he won't be picking this one up, but doesn't have an Xbox anymore. But it's it's a must do, man. And like you said, you're getting the most out of Game Pass. It's been I'll say it's been a while. I've been playing Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 on Game Pass, but all these games we're mentioning here is ones I think for our listeners we want to put on the radar because I think there's ones that they'll all want to check out. And again, they all have that kind of tinge of nostalgia about them that's coming in August, which is good for us old fart gamers, you know.
It's weird. Like that's this month. Like this month is you hit it. They hit the nail on the head. The remakes and the redos. Like these are old games that you played, but now here they look different and better, which is strange.
Indeed.
I'm sure that like Lost Soul Aside and stuff like that as well coming to PlayStation 5. Is that this month? If you're into that.
I always check. But it doesn't get any better though. That's the thing. It just gets worse in terms of the assault. The log has taken a battering of late.
I mean, my log's actually looking pretty good. It feels like my log feels smooth. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's. I need to make a list of games that I have in my log because
get it dropped.
I'm not really 100% sure.
Well, do you know what? See by the end of this run that I'm about to go through here, and to answer your question, Lost Soul aside, 29th August.
Knew that.
Basically, we're on a very, very rapid path of releases now. Usually it doesn't hit until, I would say, the end of September-ish. Seems to be kicking off a bit earlier this year. So we went through everything in August, right? Get this. This isn't everything. There'll be ones I've left off, but just ones of note that I've just jotted down for the purposes of today. September, Hell Is Us on the 4th, right? You get Indiana Jones DLC on the 4th as well. We won't play it, but well, I'm not sure if we will. We'll see. But Borderlands 4, 12th of September as well. I know there'll be a lot of Borderlands fans out there because it's clearly tracking well. Silent Hill F on 25th of September. You'll definitely be playing that one, Scott.
Of course.
FC26, the 26th of September. I'll definitely pick that up.
You're going to buy it on Switch too?
No.
You're not?
No, because after what they did on the Switch release, where they just literally updated the kits, it was the same game for full price.
Ah, right.
Not a chance, man. I'll pick it up on PS5 because FC25 ran perfectly well on the PS5 Pro. In fact, it was astounding. I'm actually quite excited because there's some manager mode updates there, that's kind of like my go-to chewing gum game if I'm not really playing much.
Yeah.
And also it's the only place I can hide to pretend that Manchester United can kick their own backside, Scott. So I can just pretend and not have to go to the real life sobering Premier League table. But that'll be the 26th of September. Then, of course, Final Fantasy Tactics on the 30th. That's September, Scott. So the log is growing, right? And hold on to your log, right? Because then you've got October kicking off with Ghost of Yotai. The Ghost of Yotai, I can't even remember what it is, on the 2nd, right? You've got Battlefield 6th on the 10th. You've got Pokemon ZA on the 16th. You've got Jurassic World Evolution 3 the 21st, as well as Ninja Gaiden 4 on the 21st. Outer Worlds 2 on the 29th of October, and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 on the 30th. And then you think, time for a wee breath. November, nothing yet, but I'll get to that. December the 4th, Octopath Traveler 0. And that's not to mention the likes of Metroid Prime 4, Hollow Knight Silksong, even Black Ops 7, Scott, which we know we will take a deep dive into and have many a late night when that drops, probably, I'd imagine, end of October as well, if Battlefield's on the 10th. So it just, strap yourselves in. And we're not going to play every single one of these games, but no one has to, because we're dafties. We're going to try and play as many of them as we
I'm
can.
going to play every single game you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
Apart from Pokemon ZA. Like,
One
everyone
of my-
but the ZA.
yeah. One of my worst habits, and I think we both do this, right, would be buying all these games, like kind of holding them, and then just making my way through it over the winter, as opposed to just waiting, finishing one, buying it in a sale. I would kind of just still trade in all the rest of it. And I remember when it gets to October, I'd be like, right, that's my pennies to the one side, got my trades, got everything. I maybe buy 3 or 4 games over the course of the month, and then that does me till like February. You know, this total hibernation mode with them all. But I'm looking at that, and there's probably 2 or 3 games in there. It's like, I'll definitely be playing that all through the winter. There'll be other ones that you know is just kind of the most reliable from a casual perspective, like your Battlefields, your Call of Duties, your FC26. But then it's like, I want to check out Final Fantasy Tactics. Hell is Us, if it's any good. I'm relying on you for that one, Scott, because I'm a shite bag. I'm not going to take the punt.
They're releasing another demo for that. I'm sure
They
I've
are.
seen that.
They are. I think it's
coming to Xbox as well.
Is it? I thought it was a PS5 exclusive.
So did I.
You
I might have just made that up, but I'm pretty sure I saw that as a demo. Yeah, coming to the Xbox. August, yeah, Halo's Us demo for PS5 Xbox Series launches on August 12th. So I'll maybe give it a go on that and see what it's like.
Give it a go, come back next week, share some thoughts.
That's another PlayStation Studios game coming to Xbox as well. Ooh, it's almost like someone foresaw this.
Indeed. But yeah, you got the biggest hit of the Ghost of Yoti. Yeah, that's the blockbuster hit this winter, I suppose. I'm looking forward to the Indiana Jones DLC September. That's probably something that I'll pick up and I'll definitely report back on, just so our listeners can hear more what the verdict is, because that game was outstanding. But then, who knows? Battlefield 6 beta is going to be live at the time of this episode going live this week. Excited to check it out. I know it's had a really good preview buzz, but I also did note that it was a very lavish preview as well by the sounds of it. So I'm like, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. It could just be more Battlefield.
I mean, it looks, if you were to compare it with Battlefield 4, and I think they've said this, is that it's like the spiritual successor to Battlefield 4 because it looks, all the UI and stuff like that looks the exact same. And I fucking loved Battlefield 4. That's why I cut my teeth in Battlefield. So I'm excited to try it. I've always had a wee soft spot in my heart for Battlefield. You hate it, and it makes me laugh every single time you play because you can't see anything, and it's so funny. You run for half an hour, and then you find a sniping spot, and then you kill people, and it's great. But it's trying to find that place to go, which is the hard part.
I always find that the time to kill is just not as smooth and consistent feeling when you compare it to the likes of a Call of Duty, which is a very different game. But it's probably all doing my attention span. Like, I need that constant response. It's like Call of Duty is a rhythmical game for me. I know exactly what I'm doing, whereas Battlefield doesn't have that same rhythm. But I'm excited to see, Vince Zampella and that's working on this, and it could be a return to form for it. I hope it is, because it's good to kind of shake up that market a wee bit. I think they've got the Battle Royale mode as well, that I think is going to be free. So the beta, which we'll be spending a lot of time on that this weekend, don't you worry, sir. We're pulling you away from your time with The Witcher.
God. I'm just about to meet Triss. Liam. How dare you?
But yeah, there's also... so that's everything that's come out of the log, right? So, like I said, it's an exciting time, but it's also like, Jesus Christ, where am I finding the time? Because ultimately, I'm finding that my time to game has went down. Just largely because, as I mentioned, I'm in office, but it's also, I think, we're putting our full backsides into the podcast, and that takes up a couple of evenings as well, just doing all that stuff, and I enjoy it because it's like, you're learning stuff, and you're doing stuff, and it's all fun. Yeah, that is like, genuinely is fun. I'm not sitting there like this is work. It's more like this is pretty cool to just be able to sit and do this and just make your dome look as best as it possibly can, Scott.
Look as shiny as possible. I shaved it in the shower today for the first time.
Good lord!
If anyone's actually really keen to know that, I used my wee
I
head
know
shaver
there's
in the
one
wet.
listener, the one listener that I know of that'll have a particular interest or advice on this one, and if he is listening, not in the van, leave a comment. Tell him what your go-to method is. Anyway,
Go-to
you go.
method for shaving his head.
He's going to
Or
text me
shaving
after
their
he hears
head.
this. Yeah,
It's an awkward thing to do because it's mostly feel. The parts that I find really difficult are the parts that the ears and the glasses part, because I have to move them, and if I move my glasses off my face, I can't see what I'm doing. So it's like I then worry that I'm going to move too close to my sideburns or my beard or my eyebrows, and everything's going to go to pot, and I'm going to come out looking like fucking the weird watery man from Watchmen that slides in that thing. Remember that happened, everyone? Remember that point in that TV show where he slides underneath that drain? Phenomenal work. However, shaved it in the shower today, and it is smooth. It is so smooth that it's bizarre. And I went to my first do party that not with family. And when I walked in, everyone was like shocked. Like, listen, it's a bald head. Let's just take our eyes off it now. Like, it's fine. People can change, and that's just the way the world works. And now I'm shiny and bald. It's great.
All this talk of removing things from surfaces, you've also reminded me I left at one thing, Scott, and that's Power Wash Simulator 2. That's coming out. Sorry. The game of the year. The game of the year. It's yeah.
When does that out?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a date been announced yet. I can check. I will check.
Hopefully
check
it's delayed.
Live.
Hopefully it's delayed so we can get you painful.
Why do you hate joy? That's all I'll ask.
I just hate things people like.
It is the best game that you have not played, and I stand by that. It's also going to be Pixel Picks Game of the Year. I'm going to campaign hard. I'm going to be crooked as possible. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to game the system so that Power Wash Simulator 2 wins.
Honestly, I said this to you before, but if that wins Game of the Year this year, I'm quitting this podcast. You can find someone else to host it with.
I will turn this into a one-man Power Wash Simulator update podcast. Come with me as we talk through the crevices that we will power wash together.
Christ almighty. I hate power washing things. Like, I enjoy power washing for the first 5 minutes that I'm doing it, and then it just becomes a total pain in the arse. And this is in real life. Like, why do I want to play that in game mode? Bizarre.
I can't quite describe it, Scott, but it is the single greatest gaming experience you're missing out on, and it is coming in 2025.
Good.
Excellent.
Death, taxes, and Power Wash Simulator.
Well, I've got a brief kid update, right? In terms of like parenting games, to pull this back to the old niche, right? I had been a bad father this week. Bad father. Because I admittedly had let my son play a game that afterwards I realised he probably shouldn't have played. Even though I thought it was okay, it was innocent enough, because he watches movies of the same ilk. And it was Injustice 2.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But playing it wasn't gory or anything. No, it was just superheroes battering lumps. And you know
violent.
What?
It's just violent.
It is, but it was like cartoonish violence, and he saw it. He saw like the Superman things. He's high on that after seeing the film, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll stick it on." And it was 2017 that game came out. I wasn't even a parent when that came out, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll stick it on." And then midway through, I'm like, "Oh no, like this is quite, it's a bit heavy." It's no different. I mean, we watch WWE and stuff like that, so I'm like, really? It's just kind of the same, except of jumping off the top rope. He's jumping out of the sky.
Yeah.
But I put it on very easy for him, and he pure loved it. And it did totally remind me that fighting games, like, are you better at fighting games as a kid? as what you're an
No.
adult. I think you might be because you've got more patience.
Well, maybe you have more patience, but you play them differently. Like
True, but
it's
it's
a
also
different thing. A different thing.
it's like it's made me realise that Marvel Token is
Oh,
going to be it's going to take over the world. But I'm like
it's
that is something I must buy because he is like he quite enjoys fighting games.
yeah.
Like I can't remember the other one that he's played with me. I think it may be like a classic Street Fighter on my SNES Mini. It was, and we also played another one on Switch Online. I can't remember which one it was. But he really enjoyed the fighting games. So I'm like, And I do need to just pick up Smash Brothers. That's what I need to do. But
I tell you, the minute you pick that game up, it's over, Liam. Like it's the family. It becomes a Smash household, and it's disgusting. Like it's
I
just
might just.
that game is just a total love letter to every game. It's so bizarre, like the whole music mode and all that, where you've got basically every single song from every single game. Like if you want to listen to One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII, it is there, Liam.
It's
It's
there.
fucking there. And
Dead
you know
in
what?
spades.
You will listen to it, like because it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
But no, Smash Brothers is class. My daughter has actually become very proficient in finding the Switch now.
Oh, yes.
More comfortable than ever than just walking into my room, my office, and picking it up off its dock and just going and playing Mario, like without asking. So we had to have a conversation today about it where she was just sitting on it. Like we were just sitting having dinner, and she was just sitting on it. We're asking her to come over, and she's like, "No, I just want to finish this level." And we were like, "Listen, like, hurry up and come over here. Like, turn it off." So it got into a wee rabble, and it's now transpired that she can't play it unless I'm with her. So it's like that's now father-daughter time. There's no reason. I get the point. People want their kids to play it, and that's fine. But it began that way where we were playing it together for the most part, and we got something out of that. Whereas she would just be sitting in her room, like we'd be busy doing our own thing, or just sitting down here, and she'd just be upstairs playing it. And it's like that's not really what we want to happen. It's like when you become iPad families, and you're like, I'm not going to let my kid have an iPad, but if you want to be minutes piece, iPads are class.
Take it all.
And she's got loads of toys and stuff like that. So we've had a conversation with her tonight, and she's agreed that that she's happy that if she wants to play it, she can ask me, and if I'm going to play it with her, then that's how we play it. But she's now like she's finished Mario Wonder, and she's like, what next? like what can I play now? And I really, really want her to play Super Mario World. Like I really want to put her on that because she loves Yoshi. So Nintendo Switch Online is going to get broken out.
Let's say it's Odyssey under the consideration.
I think she would find that it'd be too much to begin with. Like watching her play Animal Crossing and try and work our way around that map is sometimes a bit brutal, but it may be something that can be under consideration in the near future. Let's put it that way.
I know exactly what you mean because I came home from work today and I was horrified because I've been since the Bonanza incident where my save was deleted. I've been taking the Switch 2 with me in my bag to work. So I thought we need to do that because he was getting a little bit too used to accessing it. The barrier wasn't there. He's got his own Switch, which he'll play in very short bursts and he'll put it away. But when it comes to the Switch 2, like it's just because it's new and it's like it's cool. It's like he's obsessed, and he was just about to play like Mario Kart World, or in this case Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I opened the door, set foot in the living room, and there he is, absolutely Lord Luxury, kicking back on the couch with the Switch 2 in his hands, and I'm like, what is happening? Because the agreement was you're not playing it in handheld mode because if you drop that, it is big trouble for all of us. You know what I mean? Particularly yourself, because you already broke a telly in the past year. I can't trust you with the Switch 2. And he just looked like caught bang to rights. He looked gutted because he knew. And the worst part is, Scott, he asked his gran to give him a... I was watching it at the time. I was like, it's not bad enough that you've committed this crime. You have got an accomplice.
Yeah. You've dragged everyone else down with you.
Exactly. So yeah, same with you. It's about putting the barriers in that is a wise thing to do, and it is a cool thing to do together. One thing I would say, right, and I know it's a bit, but this is sincere. When you buy the Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza will have a quite incredible impact in terms of how your child understands the language of a 3D platformer. And I noticed it today, because later on in the evening, I was like, we had a talk and stuff like that. I said, do you want to play Donkey Kong together for 20 minutes? I went Pauline. And but watching him control the camera, and he's doing it without realising it, and I'm like, when the hell did they learn to do that? But it's just crazy how we all just pick it up like that. But I think the way that the camera works in DK Bonanza in terms of resetting, because it often has to, you can dig it yourself into a place where you can't see. It's very, very adaptable. And I think that's something that you'll definitely see the worth out of when you start playing it. And kids just love it because you don't have to progress. You can just smash crap. But yeah, I know you'll be talking about that next week anyway, so I look forward to hearing about it. Yeah.
This is the bit that never ends. I'm telling everyone, put it in the market in the diary, put it in the calendar. January 1st is when I maybe look at the Switch 2.
Switch 2, maybe second when the shops are open. Switch 2 day is coming.
Switch 2 day is the 2nd of January. It is coming, mark it in the calendar, folks.
That's it. Stay tuned to the channels. I'm not sure. But I definitely think you're ready for it beforehand. But
again, the conversation, there is nothing to play on it yet that I want. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World, fine. I don't even think Metroid Prime or Pokemon are going to be those games either. I don't know what that game is to drag me into it, kicking and screaming, but
you'll know.
Not there yet.
You'll know when you're ready for the next generation of Nintendo consoles. But the bigger question this week, Scott, and our main topic is, are we ready for the next generation of PlayStation and Xbox consoles? Almost a PlayStation 5 Series X in review so far. So yeah, this week's been interesting, Scott. So moving into the main topic, see what I did there, sliding in there. This week, over the past week since the last episode, the PlayStation 6 specs have allegedly leaked from a YouTuber, Moore's Law is Dead. He's revealed the alleged leaks when we were, I think it was over the weekend it broke. I remember texting you with disgust, disdain, because I think along the lines of the caption, here we fucking go, because not in a good way. But really, I want us to take some time just to kind of go through what those leaks are and just our general thoughts on the kind of generation where we're at now, where do we think it's going, and, are we ready for it ultimately? But I'm going to start with the PS6 leak, Scott. So you ready? This is kind of our version of digital floundering, I would say, because we don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about. So there's a lot of stuff there. But the shorthand of it...
play on words.
That's it. That's what we can call these segments now. So it's allegedly
digital floundering.
Yeah, that's us. Oh, fuck, we better bookmark that shit. Trademark it. Yeah. So really, the alleged leaks came out the weekend. So PlayStation 6, you heard me right. It's rumored. So take everything here with the largest handful of salt possible, because it's all just alleged stuff here, but apparently it's 5 times the power of the PlayStation 5. Didn't say where that is in context of the PS5 Pro, but 5 times the power of the PS5. There's rumoured to also be a PlayStation handheld launching alongside it as well. Now, under the hood, it's allegedly got a GDDR7 video memory, which is similar to an RTX 50 series GPU. Basically, it's a higher bandwidth. It has triple rasterization. So basically...
Triple rasterization?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, explain that.
Rasterization. So basically, it's using the computer graphics to convert a 3D object into 2D. So the faster that goes, you're going to get better frame rates and things are smoother. But power-wise, we've seen here it's basically like an RTX 4080. Reports are saying here. There's a PSR upgrade, but that is also going to be coming to the PS5 Pro next year anyway. So I'm not sure what that means in the context of it. So again, question mark. The handheld has probably about half the rasterization of the PS5, and it also has RDNA 5, which means it will have some ray tracing capabilities. The production, it's meant to be going into production about mid-2027. So say 2 years from now. And a late 2027 release / early 2028 release, but will not be late 27, is the alleged target date. And the price so far, God knows how they managed to even get that far, speculated to be launching at $499, just akin to the PS5 at launch, so want to kind of bring it down in price as opposed to what we're predicting it going up, and with the handheld to launch at the same time, so they complement each other. And the usual stuff like PS4, PS5 backwards compatibility. So yeah, I'm going to start from the point there, Scott. Here we bloody go. We talked about this. Maybe it was the cost of gaming chat. I'm not sure, but we were both on the same page. But it's like we're just not there yet. And I know 2 years or 1.5 years, however you chalk it up, may feel like a long time, but it's not really. And I just My take is that it feels way too soon for this, man. Like, and I know this is all rumours, so we don't want to get too emotional about it because it might not happen. Who knows? But we know that the bean counters at Sony and that they're just going to want to stick to and squeeze the life out of that 7-year generation cycle. Well, 5 years, well, almost 5 years into this cycle now, into this generation. And I don't know, to me it just feels like it's barely even got started, which is more of a sign of the iterative approach to consoles, I would say. I feel like we have had some pretty jaw-dropping experiences. You'd think of God of War Ragnarok, Hellblade 2, Death Stranding 2 recently as well. It feels like there's been a lack of those bigger experiences due to those greater development cycles that we're seeing. And I don't know, I've just kind of got that feeling of the bum. Someone who's bought a PS5 Pro. Ultimately, I kind of wanted to get more than 3 years out of it. And listen, I can. You vote with your wallet. You don't have to buy it. But I also know I'm a damn hypocrite, and I will no doubt be there day one with the FOMO for the PS6. They know it, I know it, and I hate it. But that's why it feels way too soon.
No, you're right, and you need to get that rastification. Huh?
Mm-hmm,
you need that Rastafari, experience in there. You're saying don't get emotional about it. I want to get fucking emotional about it. What a load of shit! Fuck off! It's fucking 4 times, 5 times more as powerful or something like that. You're saying what an absolute load of nonsense. See if you can make something 5 times more powerful. How is it going to be? How where are we going to see that? Games look as good as they do now. We bought PlayStation 5 Pros, and both of us feel the same way. That is it really that worth it? To be honest with you, has it been worth it? I think both of us bought it in terms of longevity and squeezing the last few drops out of this generation. But I didn't feel like it was going to come this soon. Which comments in chat, people abuse me for it because fucking I deserve it, to be honest with you. You do, but it just feels like a total kick in the balls, and it's starting to feel very much like console gaming is just becoming PC gaming, where instead of buying parts for a PC, you're just buying a new console every 2 or 3 years because it changes so much. Like RTX fucking 1020, 1080, 400 million pish. These things, these graphic cards change all the time. I don't know if there's a year goes by where I don't hear about another one getting fucking announced. And it's when do you just stop? When do games get to a point where they just go, look, we can't make them look that bad. We can't make them look much better. Do you know what I mean?
Can't do any better.
Phil Spencer and Herman Hulst come out holding hands at the beginning of the Game Awards and say, Game Awards audience, we can't do it anymore. We can only make games look this good. It's ridiculous. We're getting to a point where it is just nonsense. We're talking about game development taking longer than ever. When was the Wolverine game announced by Insomniac? 3 or 4 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
And we've not seen it since. Do you know what I mean? And now it might be that they announce that or they show that off at the end of this year and then it's out early next year. Who the fuck knows? But There's nothing been said about it. Nobody knows anything more about it, and that's just what happens. Like Ghost of Jyoti, it's just they announce it so quickly, then release so quickly, and it's just like the development time's just taking longer and longer and longer. I just don't see the value in a PlayStation 6 now. Now
Yeah.
bookmark this because the minute they announce that PlayStation 6, I will be that guy in that movie riding the fucking nuclear bomb down, cowboy hat in hand, swinging it around, riding the PlayStation 6 into the fucking Earth's crust because I will buy it. I'm stupid enough that I will pay for it, and that's just what I do. Like maybe start saving the pennies now.
Well, the
And
PS5
do
Pro
that.
will hold value. That's the
Well,
way.
you'd hope, but
I would like to, consider holding on to it, but it's a sound strategy because it only clutters the place up, man. But I'm with you. Like at least we can admit it. As it been complete hypocrites here. But I do feel that way though. It's like I feel like I'm being pushed into it because they know they're capitalising on that FOMO, the kind of muggiest of mug punters like ourselves to be like
and
their day one.
Will be if that's the case, they're announcing it. They're not announcing it, but they're saying that they're going for a 2027. If we agree that that's the announced thing, we're going to be 3 years into a Trump government at that point. Who's to say that tariffs haven't fucking destroyed the world by then? Do you know what I mean? $499.
Yeah.
That seems too cheap. That seems fucking for what they're saying that's inside this thing. It seems less likely.
I have to be careful here, Scott, right? Because the last time I went on a Trump rant, I'm pretty sure somebody went and gave us a bad review because of it. But also, fuck Trump, I'm going to do it anyway. But I think, yeah, you're right. That's the other thing, the external environment that we've got to take into account here. If it looks at it purely from a marketing perspective, it's like that will have a massive, massive impact. And we're going to see it. Like the canary in the coal mine's already sounded off with what's happening with Nintendo Switch prices going up. Yeah. The original family of all those consoles and accessories. Switch 2.
Fucking outrage.
I know, but they're teeing it up, Nintendo. I wouldn't be surprised if they get to I think they want to get past Christmas, get the big sales in, because they can't harm that just now, and then they'll announce that kind of, right, we've got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of FOMO's built up, you've got DK, you've got Mario Kart, you have Metroid Prime, Final Fantasy Tactics, whatever else it is that's on there. And then we put the price up probably by about $50.
Yeah.
More possibly. And yeah, in terms of PlayStation 5, Sony could have the best intent in the world. But then it's like, how does the tariff impact production, all the rest of it? And we could all end up, in fact, we will end up paying the price for what is effectively a cult mindset over there with that base. And they're blindly walking into it. And to be fair, it's going to be worse here as well. So
I know. Let's not talk about that.
Not talk about it, but in terms of like the overall cost of things, in terms of manufacturing, production, trade, all that thing has to come, and that's when it's going to hit round about that time. Mm-hmm. So the reason it's worth talking about it is because the last time there was a severe global market crash in 2008, and the generation was extended to, albeit not by much, but it was like an 8-year generation, just a little bit longer, because of the effects of the global financial crash and the recession, the everything that came with it. And I feel like we've been through COVID since then. We've also had like this very turbulent political situation and what is a rising cost of living problem, a very much real world pressures where everybody's feeling the pinch and these luxuries go by the wayside. If you're a big company, you're thinking, right, a launch is so important because we want to come out swinging. Because you know what it's like, particularly for, you get enthusiast media like ourselves, enthusiast press, everything. If it doesn't come out swinging, it's like, something wrong there, it's bad. Mm-hmm. And it's like a hoodoo, you can't quite shake it. I mean, Xbox haven't shaken it in 2 generations at this point. And yeah, Sony will be very shrewd and they'll be careful about it. And I think that's probably, I look back at the PS5 Pro with that pricing, they're probably thinking, do you know what? sod it. We'll put it out. We'll see what happens. If they bite, then that gives us a little bit of market research as what to do with the 6. I don't think the Pro has sold particularly bad. Neither has it sold above expectations. It's probably roughly where they expected it to be. But I think if it had sold above expectations, you would definitely be sitting here in those leaks, and it's like, right, PS6 is going to be $700 and whatnot. And I wouldn't be surprised. Out of all the leaks, the $499 price point was the thing that surprised me most. You'd expect to see the power, but the fact that they're going to almost take a PlayStation 4 type approach, which is let's just pull the price back. What does that come at the cost of in terms of power? Because how can it be 5 times more powerful? More powerful than a PlayStation 5 Pro potentially, but retailing $200 less. I don't get it. I know technology gets cheaper.
Maybe that's the price of the handheld.
Yeah, I mean, it might well be. And that leads me to the next point, I suppose, which is like, in terms of, we'll come back to this generation, right? But in terms of like what we're expecting to see for the next gen, iterations aren't going to be the way forward. I think the battle's going to be won on the handhelds, and whoever can crack getting the most power for the least price will be the winner. I had such high hopes for that ROG Ally, thinking maybe the Xbox version might come in a little bit less. It's still a pretty meaty boy in terms of price, because it's basically a handheld gaming PC, and rightfully so. It's a very powerful bit of kit, but they need to find a way to straddle it. The technology's probably not quite there yet, but you know that they're all circling it. They've seen what the Switch has done. Sony and Microsoft are like, we need a piece of that pie, but also our audience expect power. They're not going to accept a Switch 2 power handheld. So that's what's exciting me about it. If a new Sony handheld, man, they're day one. To the point where if you can't buy both day one, right? There will be people that will. I don't really think we're going to go and spunk over $1,000 in one day on two things. But it's like, is it really going to happen? I know we'd be tempted to, right? But then you take into your fact that you're accessing these games now. You could easily spend £1,500 in one day.
It's true.
I'd like to remain married at that point, so it's not really a wise move. But yeah, there could be a potential in the future, Scott. Right? Happy with the PS5 Pro, we see the specs of the PS6, and you go, do you know what? I'm going to just get the handheld instead, and I'll wait for the PS6. Now, I think that's an unlikely scenario, but it's not outside the realms of possibility for us as well.
You're right.
I think we're more ready for that.
Yeah, I grow tired, more tired every day at the thought of handheld gaming, Liam. I think I may be the only one on planet Earth that feels this way, because everyone wants to fucking shove handheld gaming consoles up their arse. But it is just infuriating. Like, the whole point, the whole prospect of, same couch gaming where my wife could sit and watch something where I'm sitting beside her playing it, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Like, you have this console that is 5 times the power of a PlayStation 5, but you limit yourself by playing that game on a handheld console that might have the same specs as a PlayStation 5. Like Tim Allen grunt from Home Improvement. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't have that. There was a time in the past, Liam, and that time has gone, where I was travelling to and from places for work, getting the train into Glasgow for work, and I could play something on the way there. That was the time where a handheld console could have been it for me. But it's just not now. Like, I just don't have that in me anymore. The Switch 2 is probably the closest I'll get to something like that in the sort of near future. But you're right. You are completely right in what you're saying, is that the future is handheld gaming for these companies, because it's a market they haven't hit yet, and you need to have that alternative. People love Switch, people love fucking Steam Decks, people love these ROG Allies, but you have to sell your soul to buy one. And if you can manage to work the thumbsticks through all the fucking watts at dust, then that's the difficult part with it. However, it's it's just not. I just can't anymore. Like, I'm sick of pretending that I'm excited for it because I'm not.
Hmm.
Like I'm happy for people, and this isn't me high horsing it, being like PlayStation and Xbox, just stop what you're doing and just make better consoles. But I'd rather you just stick with the same generation of consoles and actually just make fucking games for them because
Hmm.
I'm sick of it. Like I'm fucking sick of this was the year of Xbox. Right, we were talking about this a few months ago. Like this is the year of Xbox, and like they have just shot themselves in the arse
Hmm.
with the way that they've gone about this year. With
Yeah.
PlayStation, we're excited about maybe one or two releases a year. Like
Hmm.
we're looking at a year this year where Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yoti are going to be the two big hitters for PlayStation this year. Now that might be normal for some people. People might be like, "Well, that's great," but not this guy, not this fucking guy. How many
I
people, how many companies, how many affiliates are associated with PlayStation? Like, and how many years have you had to do this? Like, fucking just
well,
hurry up.
I think what's happened is the two things. One, the whole PlayStation Studios branding. I think they've always wanted to take like a Marvel-esque approach
Yeah,
and do like just a handful of big tent poles, which that's fine. I
it's
accept that.
fine.
But the big problem is that they put all their chips down on the live service multiplayer games under
Yeah.
the Jim Ryan era. It's not worked, and what you've probably found is that all of that investment, time, the projects, the fallout, there's nothing. They're effectively had to start from last summer, and they're clawing time back. And there should be more things. So all that extra stuff you're talking about should be peppered around your Ghost of Yotes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But Concord happened,
Mate,
and
I just want to bring back Concord. Release it
yeah,
again. I think it would have life. I think you could breathe life into that game again. Just release, please.
Concord wasn't bad. It was just that I think gamers saw right through the cynical attempt to almost like they want the live service,
Mm-hmm.
monetization, all that type of stuff, and it's a really good way to put gamers off. Christ, I see it now with Marvel Snap. Like players are going away in droves
Yeah.
because of the very egregious monetization. You looked at Concord, everybody's chasing that Fortnite trend. And, it's been talked to for death, but effectively what's happened is, when we come to this generation, so let's move things into PS5 and Series X now, right? In terms of this generation in review, I mean, it's definitely been a low light, and I suppose we'll start there, what has let us down this generation, and we'll come then to talk about the highlights and what our hopes originally was for it, but
I think it's just lack of things to play on it. Like these consoles are in effect just third party consoles now. Like you're playing it on the PlayStation for or PlayStation 5 Pro for the best experience. Like, and that's literally it. Xbox Series X is a Game Pass machine. Like that's all that thing is for me. It's nothing else. Now that might be the success story for Xbox, and that's what they want, and that's fine. Like fair dues, but we were, as I say, we're talking this year about being year of Xbox because they were actually releasing stuff themselves. And South of Midnight, that's the only one I can remember. Indiana Jones last year, like we're starting to see the cogs turning there. Like we said that last year, Indiana Jones is the first push, the first domino to fall in the Xbox strategy, and it works. And when they actually focus on games that they can release, then great. But then you have to deal with the fucking the illicit practice that goes on behind the scene with
yeah.
Xbox, and that's like it's like the I reason it in my own head to knowing the kayfabe process in WWE now that I shouldn't need to know about the inner workings of Xbox every single day of my life, but every day I log into Blue Sky, it's there and I can read everything that's going on a day-to-day basis. I listen to podcasts more often now that tell me more about these people than I should know about. And it's good that that's the thing because you can feel it, but it's like when the games come out and when it works, it's been working. So
Yeah.
that's great. But then they just fucking shoot themselves in the arse by being fucking arseholes. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
It's true. I mean, there's no way to defend Xbox's practice, and what they're pushing up against, real people losing their jobs, all that talent, creativity, livelihood wrecked in favour of the AI trend and pursuing an almighty dollar. It's just bad, and also it means that ultimately the output's just not good. There's a lot of really cool projects in there that will never see the light of day. And in terms of a low light, that's probably up there.
That's the
It
I
feels
think that's
like,
probably the lowest light, to be honest with
yeah,
you, is and I'll say it, I'll say it, not just Sony, but like the Xbox closures of studios is probably the lowest light of this generation.
yeah,
The fact
easy.
that we're talking about a rare game being cancelled. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that we're talking about Perfect Dark not even coming out. It
Yeah,
is ridiculous. I'm trying my hardest not to say outrageously because I said it so many times in last week's episode, but it is absolutely outrageous. The fact that that is a reality we live in.
yeah.
Concord, probably another low light. I mean, if we'll do an episode where we rank the low lights of the gaming industry this
Good
generation,
God.
right?
Race to the
S tier,
bottom.
S tier is Concord and the Xbox closures. You're talking about like Hi-Fi Rush and all that, like Tango GameWorks and stuff as well. Like we forget that happened because they were
Yeah.
bought, but it's like it's ridiculous. But all people just want are games to play at the end of the day. That's all people want. Like if we're looking at highlights for this generation, it's the indie games that have managed to prop everything up. Like
Yeah, we all love indie gaming, and it's like you'll get some absolute darling gems in there. But for me, it's they still want the only thing that comes close to having like that massive pop, and you're going to see it soon, is the Hollow Knight Silk Song, which has almost become legend. Is it a game I'm excited for? No, but I know that the community is. It's not just about me. What I think, it's more like I'm excited for that. Just to see the reaction. It's like it's almost borderline getting fumbled, the way it's kind of like
yeah,
it's kind of there. So it's in a museum, or it's not. We're expecting it here. It's not turned up yet, and you can push it a little bit too much. But I think it's the lack of those big ass moments this generation, and I feel like we kind of peaked around about 2015, 16, not that PS4 generation, that run that they went on. And that will never be topped. You can get close to it. There's been some amazing moments for sure, but I think it's all under the guise of, oh, that's really cool. And you think one of two things. One, I'm not going to see that for about 7 years.
yeah,
Or two, that'll never see the light of day.
might
So
be
it'll get
cancelled.
cancelled. Yeah.
Yeah,
But almost like you look at Grand Theft Auto 6, which has taken 13, 14 years to come out by the time it lands. And we're not that far off it in terms of other games' developmental cycles. If you were to look at some of the other big ass games out there, I mean, for talking sake, Insomniac's probably the rare exception. But if I was to look at like a sequel to Ghost of Yotei, right, or the Ghost of Yotei itself, Ghost of Tsushima, 5 years it's taken for that new one to come out. The next one, easily could be about 7 years.
yeah.
They wouldn't want to, but it could easily happen. Just with so many other things factoring it. What if there are more studio cuts? What if there are all these other cost cutting measures, as they try to kind of get the bulk of the cost down? And these are things that almost rob you of the joy. And in terms of like the low lights, so I might get these at the road first because there's been highlights. It's the price to value as well. I feel like the more money we spend, this generation, it just feels like the cost of it all has just shifted gaming into being a much more expensive than ever hobby. I shouldn't be feeling like that. We shouldn't be feeling like that. It should be feeling like almost that this stuff should be getting cheaper, not more expensive. But I feel that the more money that we're being asked to spend or do spend to enjoy what we'd like to enjoy, it should mean either you get more time with it or you get more content with it. And it just doesn't feel like either has been delivered upon in that front, and that whole price to value ratio for me. Of course, I'm not tarring all with the same brush. There is the odd game that comes out, your Elden Rings and all that, for example, where it is just like, I could play this endlessly. But there's, on the vast majority of stuff, it's like, man, like, this is what it comes back to. Does the AAA gaming model still work? In that regard. When we're talking about $70, $80 games and all that, I'm sorry, like, there would be a big chunk of games media out there that's probably that money doesn't mean that you should have more content, etc. I'm like, yeah, I would probably make that argument too if I didn't shell out 80 quid each time for it.
Mm-hmm.
The cards on the table. I feel
It's
very
easy.
differently about it for something that I spent nothing on to something that I spent £80 on.
It's easy enough saying that to people, like
Yeah.
coming from these places that they get review codes, they can ask for it all the time, and they get these things for free because, companies want to throw their stuff at them, and rightly so, because
Absolutely.
they're successful for that
They've
reason.
earned that.
But it's when you're talking to people and having conversations about the value of games and all that at the moment, when you're talking about we had the conversation this year about Senwa's Sacrifice, whatever one it is,
So,
and it was like that game is what, tiny, hours long.
4
And
hours,
yeah,
4 or
4
5
hours
hours.
long. You're
Yes.
talking about like a $40 experience or something like that. It's like
Probably more.
people were like, "Oh, well, we're happy for that." It's like, what are you smoking, and where can I get it? Because like, it's outrageous the fact that you think that that's okay.
Yeah.
Even the jump up in price for the games recently they're talking about. I even have the opinion that the Switch 2 game prices are fucking ridiculous as well.
Oh, the Mario Kart World isn't worth that amount of money. No
Ridiculous.
Nintendo game is. No game is.
The
To be
fact
frank,
that you can tack it on to the console itself and it's cheaper. It's like, what kind of fucking world do we live in?
I think it's
mad.
a crazy one, mate. But I think they've did it just to bamboozle you with that pricing model, and it's actually quite old school. It used to be like this way back in the day, particularly when Nintendo games would have like different tiers and all that. When it comes to it, you go dig out an old Argos catalogue, you see what I mean. And
I'll go and look in my cupboard.
you can get them in PDFs online. It's a good
Cool.
nostalgia trip, but you'll see it. You'll see there is like a different pricing model. I think even somebody like Maximilian Dude will talk about it, the way they used to price fighting games and stuff back in the day. So I mean, it kind of evened itself out, and it made sense to do that. You did run the risk of you're paying 60 quid or 50 quid for like a game that was could be shorter, could be longer. And on one hand, I do understand it, I appreciate it, but for me, it's definitely been like a real low light for this generation for me. It marks off in terms of the whole cost of it, man. Like it feels like we've turned a corner that we can't go back on, and I do worry. Our cost of gaming chat's still out there. It's well worth going back and listening to if I do so myself, but it's something that we have to keep in that conversation, because here we are. I like to think that we're going to give some honest recommendations on the show all the time. And we're talking about PlayStation 6, we're talking about all this stuff, and we are the mug punters that shelled out 700 quid on a PS5 Pro, or maybe less after you sell some Pokemon cards. But I want to make sure that we're always kind of being real about it, and then when we're talking about are we ready for next gen, this isn't the type of show where we're going to be like, yeah, PS6, let's go, woo. It's like, absolutely not. Like, so every penny is a prisoner, and it will remain that way because we are from Scotland. That's just the way it has to be. And we've got to stay real on that.
We have to. You do have to. Like, we're living in reality. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, if people listen to this show are similar to ourselves, or listening to other shows that people get handed these consoles, people get given, handheld devices that they don't have to pay for, and they love it, and it's great, and fucking fair fucks to them. But
yeah,
I just say,
we would absolutely take it if it was punted.
100%. I mean, Phil, I've told you, my phone's right here. I'm ready for it, mate. But
the shell either.
Herman, you come as well, mate. But it's just ridiculous. Like, we can joke about it, but the possibility when you text me that thing about the PlayStation 6 this week, I near enough threw my phone out the window. I was like, get that and shove it up your ass, because honest to God, I think it's just the wrong time. Like, it's like announcing that you're engaged at a wedding. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the time for it. Just sit the fuck down and just wait. Like,
so steal the thunder.
That's it. It's not even stealing the thunder. It's just, don't make a fucking wank of yourself. Just shut up. It's just not time yet, and I'm going to be so unhappy about it if this comes true, and we have to live in a reality where this is actually going to happen. Then expect me to be even more angry about this in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about the lowlights. I want to bring it up a notch because I don't want this to get mired in negativity. But what about highlights though? Because it hasn't all been bad. There's definitely been highlights this generation for sure. But I mean, any ones that are springing to mind, or do you want me to kick off?
You kick it off because I'll have a
Okay,
think.
okay, you have a wee think. But for me, there has been some awesome moments in the game. For me, my hopes going into this generation was, I hope the games are running great, and really, I want the tech to be more stable. And for me, that has been a real highlight. I feel like the technology behind all this, it's lived up to that hope that I've had. I wanted more stability. I wanted less uncertainty playing bigger titles on these machines, which I feel the PlayStation 5, the base one, as well as the Pro, but the base one definitely, and the Series X has absolutely delivered. Arguably the most steady console experience I've ever had, and probably one of the most sturdy ones I've ever made. And it just felt like a real sweet spot for me in terms of how they performed. I've not once played my PlayStation 5 or Series X. I had the same kind of anxiety that I did playing on the PS4 or the PS4 Pro, even like the Xbox One. I was just kind of always like, man, this is going to take off or blow up or burst into flames. I'm not quite sure. And they recognised that. They put out consoles that are like, can way surpass what this generation is going to do. And yeah, but the Series X is probably a highlight for me as well in terms of it. Just the actual machine
Yeah,
has been a real surprise hit. I bought that as the secondary console, the B console, the Game Pass machine, as you say. But arguably, especially this year, it's kind of morphed into being more of my favourite place to play because I don't know what it is. It feels dead reliable, but the overall experience of it, just with the likes of the quick start and all that, is just so damn good. Like,
yeah,
I love it, and it's to the point where I don't actually have a worry about, if they announce another Xbox tomorrow, I'm like, no, I'm cool with that. Like the Series X, I'm like, it does what it needs to. It can run 4K, 120 frames per second. The Series X has got so much power under the hood. And then I'm also like, why can't I think the same way about my PS5 Pro? Because it does have so much power under the hood, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it is, but
it's the options you have to select for it. But
yeah, I
even with
suppose.
that, like when you play Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, it starts in balanced mode and it runs fucking awfully. Like it's so bad. Put it in performance mode and it's perfect. So
Yeah.
it's it does have its pitfalls. I think that, honestly the big thing for me with this generation, because I've actually been pretty let down with quite a lot of it, to be honest with you, and
Hmm.
this is just the misery that's coming out of me. But
Oh, God.
I would say that
Highlights now, highlights.
yeah, no, I know. But I think for me, it has been, you know, reacquainting myself with the Xbox more than ever before. Because last generation, might as well not have existed. Whereas the Xbox Series X has really given me a point and a place where I actually want to play these games. Like, I'm actively engaged in the Xbox ecosystem. And that's great because, when there's more places to play, we all win, keep that one up there.
Very
Um,
true.
but with Game Pass, like it was obviously there before, but it didn't feel right at
Yeah.
that point. Whereas now it's like you've got Sega games on there, you've got all the backwards compatibility stuff. You're seeing games that are new coming out on it as well. Like so, it's just in first party titles coming out straight away. And it's the value for money where Game Pass is ridiculous. Like even now, it still feels like you're stealing from them because it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
it feels wrong. But that's probably the biggest win. With PlayStation Plus, I'd also say that that's arguably got a wee bit better over the
Hmm.
year.
Yeah.
We've started to see some games that you actually want to play on there. I would still like to see more PlayStation 2 games on the premium
Yeah.
efforts for it. However, I'm not going to lambast them for it because it's probably more hassle than it's worth.
Mhm.
However, it is class for that, and even with like Nintendo, getting the GameCube games on Switch Online, like getting Soul Calibur 2 on Switch Online.
Mhm.
Come on now. Do you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Big one.
it's a big one for me. So it's maybe having more access to games than ever before and more places to play them and
Yeah.
and it feeling like value for money. Like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass feels like something that you should have. Nintendo Switch Online, I will cancel it maybe every single month that I have it. But if I ever want to play something, then I'll buy it again. But it is one of those things where it's cool for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it feels like it's been more of a technology heavy than game content heavy success for me this generation. Not to say that I've had bad ones. Like, there's been absolutely incredible games that I'll just be forgetting off the top of my head, but they'll always come and go. I just feel like it's been a better place to play them. And I'm probably more, to kind of close my thoughts in terms of where we're at for Are We Ready and why I'm feeling those, because I'm happy just now. I'm happy just with how stable it is. It feels like, this feels like a nice little sweet spot just now that we're in. Let's not rush it, whereas with the PlayStation 4, I remember, and the Xbox One definitely, but I remember like when the talk of the PS5 was coming out, and it was just like, yeah, we're absolutely ready. Like, these machines are going to die, and we're struggling. I remember playing, like, I think it was God of War 2018 on that PS4 Pro, and it was like, my goodness, and Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and it's like, I remember just thinking, how did I finish it on that machine without it absolutely bursting into flames, burning a hole all the way through the equator? It was unbelievable. Just a feat of engineering, how we managed to kind of get away with that. And the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S come out, and it's like, yeah, this feels like what it should be doing. It's a nice, steady experience. Of course, if you want to go mega hardcore, PC gaming's there, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about console gaming, which is about the ease of access. You turn it on, you play, no worries. I think about the next gen, I'm like, I just don't really, unless you're wanting to take us down that corner of being like, you might as well just release a PlayStation 7 2 years later and a PlayStation 8 2 years after that, and just kind of go down that type of route, as opposed to this kind of facade. I mean, really, the PS5 Pro is pretty much a PS6, because the PS6 is going to be the same type of upgrade. Very, very iterative. Maybe a different, well, of course, have a different design, brand, feel, and all the rest of it. And it is always exciting, but I hate the fact that, despite that thought that I don't think we're ready, is that they just know, I'll be there day one.
Yeah. It's true, though. It is true. It's disgusting, but that's the life we live in, it.
I know. But what do the listeners think? If you listen to this, what's your take on it? You hear about the PS6 leaks, are you ready for the next generation? We're keen to find out. Without sounding like I'm about to start some Degeneration X, but
I was just going to say,
are you ready?
All right, Triple H, mate. All right, mate.
Good grief. Yeah, there will be one day where we all do a wrestling podcast just for a laugh. A little special. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let us know if you'd be interested in that one. But yeah, leave comments below. Are you ready for the next generation? We're saying not quite yet. Do you agree? Are you absolutely ganting for a PlayStation 6? I would be very intrigued to find out. So please leave a wee comment below and let us know your thoughts. But this brings us to the next segment of the podcast, which of course means that it's time for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on in the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. Now, last week's theme was somehow best open world game. Took ages to get there, but we got there in the end. And of course, it was Grand Theft Auto 5 becoming the latest addition to the list. And in this week's showdown, we're debating what best RPG shooter game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, as always, last week's winner goes last. I cannot for the life of me remember.
None of us. We didn't pick who won because we both picked it. So pick heads or tails.
I'll go tails, as is tradition. Let's see.
It's heads.
Heads. Oh, the gods. That's fine. You can all see that he's cheating. And I'm joking.
You can't even see it anyway.
I know. Well, there you go. What's your honourable mention and your pick then, Scott?
You go first.
Is it me first?
No, last week winner goes last, so I win.
Forgot my own rules. Sorry, I was going by the actual winner, not the cheating winner. That's fine. So Eddie Guerrero over here, why cheat steal? So yeah, I'll kick things off with my honourable mention because it has to be one because it's already in the list. So my honourable mention this week has to go to Fallout 3. What can I say? You know, when you're talking to me about an RPG shooter, just exploring that capital wasteland, you know, endless amounts of exploration, things to do, and that real sense of place. You know, if you want grey and green and brown, this is the game for you. But all joking aside, you know, the VAT system, it was inspired, man. Like, especially at the time, what a game changer. Like, it slowed things down to be tactical. It was fun. It was engaging. It had a good story with Liam Neeson as your dad in there. What more could you ask for? You could shoot up some super mutants. And like I says, you know, very, very of its time in the muted colour palette and stuff, but it's still fun. I think if you can kind of get over that hump, you played it recently.
That's what I was about to say. It still stands the test of time, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
for a first time Fallout gamer who actually finished his very first Fallout game this year, it was a phenomenal experience, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So
Yeah, it's got a quality, it's got a presence, it's a real, you know, all balls to the wall type of, you know, meaty experience that you could ask for. If you could get over the hump of the graphics, I'd say now,
yeah,
there's a lot of joy to have in there. But it's honourable mention, so I'll move on to my pick this week, which has to be none other than Mass Effect 2. That is my pick this week. It is one of the GOATs, Scott. It needs to be on the Pixel Picks list somewhere, and I feel like this is it's just there, just ready to nestle into that slot perfectly. But what more can I say? If you had played Mass Effect, the original back in the day, and I'll never forget the time when I was like, you know, I enjoyed it, but I think I've had my fill. It was a bit Babylon 5. I can put it to the side, you know. And then Mass Effect 2 is coming. I went, right, okay, I'm not really sure. I was at work at the time, so like, you're going to get Mass Effect 2. And I totally FOMO'd. I was like, all right, I'll get it. It was Friday. I was like, I'll just go buy it. And my God, I mean, that opening to that game, you're effectively the $6 million man. You're kind of blown to bits and kind of put back together again. The elusive man, the way that they've kind of built that up and the build up to the suicide mission with the collectors, absolutely incredible start to finish. And the people you meet along the way, it is just absolutely sensational. Usually in those type of games, I would try and mainline it, but I wanted to do all of the extra missions to get to know the characters better, unlock some costumes, and of course, you know, you'll build up your favourites, you'll build up the romances along the way, which in this case is everybody and anybody. You know, Garrus, yep, Miranda, yep, everybody. Let's just have a good old time in space, and you know, carrying that into the suicide mission and being genuinely gutted if you lost somebody along the way that you've built this connection with all the way in your journey, and the way it was just put together, man, it was just absolute perfection. It was something I recently replayed it a few years ago with the collection, and yeah, still just every bit as good, you know. And you could do daft things. You can go renegade. You could just be, you know, was it Paragon as well? Good guy, bad guy. It was just fantastic. But in terms of an RPG shooter as well, the thing that stood out the most to me from Mass Effect 1 to 2 was the shooting was actually fun. It's all about a post Gears of War world at this point. The cover-based shooting, it was nice and tight. I can still hear that kind of burst fire assault rifle. And it was so engaging. You know, you're up there, whether you're fighting the Geth, whether you're fighting just anybody out there in front of you. It's always fun. Making use of your powers as well, the types of different ammunition, and the way that you kind of slowly level yourself and your abilities up along with your party. It's just a perfect RPG shooter for me, so it has to be Mass Effect 2.
Well done. That's absolutely probably the best RPG shooter in the world, to be honest with you. I struggle with this one, Liam. I feel like any time there's a point where I am on the ascendancy, you pick an option that brings me right back down to earth, because
I've no idea what you're talking about.
you know me. I have Googled RPG shooters, and maybe the only one that I have played and enjoyed is Mass Effect.
Give
even things like Cyberpunk and stuff like that as well, potentially, but already on the damn list. A lot of the games that we could mention here are on the list as well. I'd love to, go a wee bit out there and say like a Borderlands or something.
Yeah.
But even then, didn't play them, Liam. Never played the Borderlands series. Couldn't be bothered. Where I actually do toe the line on this, and this is probably where I'm not really going to have an honourable mention. If I was to pick an honourable mention, I'd probably stick with you on the Fallout 3 train, and it's purely because it's not on the list. If it wasn't on the list, it'd be my choice for this week because Fallout 3 is phenomenal, and as I say, it had no right being as good as it was when I enjoyed it this year, a couple of months ago, where I fell in love with that game. But a game that maybe I didn't fall in love with myself, but as a collective, including yourself and the late great friend, loved this game, and we played it religiously. Almost every single day we played this game.
Okay.
And you had to log into it, Liam. You had to log into it. We have some moments in this game where even now I still go back and watch the videos on my Facebook page of glorious moments. And that game is Destiny.
Good shout.
It's a strange one because it's not a game series and not a type of game that, this man here enjoys. There's something about that. There's something about that gameplay rhythm that irks me. But when you see those numbers, Liam, oh goodly, oh good God, when you see those numbers rise, it's phenomenal. Yep. But really, with Destiny, it was the routine of it all that got me. Like the gameplay loop is the same: jump to one place, ride your wee trike to another place, find a ball on the way there and header it a few times, but get to a place, shoot the people, get the stuff, leave, upgrade your character, do it all over again. And that's what it was like for the first few months. And then you started getting the raids, you started getting all the mad bosses and stuff like that. And that's where we really, really got into our own with that game.
Weekly strikes and stuff like that.
All the time, aye. Even the multiplayer, even the actual like PvP parts of it as well were decent. But it was it was an okay story, even when Peter Dinklage was still there, and it was just a really cool experience. Like that being the gateway drug into that type of game was cool. I also fear that if Anthem managed to stick the landing, that could have been the spiritual successor to it. However, it was just a glorious time. It didn't really hit me with Destiny 2 though. Like Destiny 2 was almost felt like a bit too much. Like you've gone to the buffet table and you've picked far too many things, and you're trying to eat it all at once, and it's just felt too overwhelming. Where Destiny 1 just felt like a tighter, more closed off experience. But it was the social parts of it that I really enjoyed, and that's the reason why it's my favourite RPG shooter.
A good choice. Yeah, that's a good choice for sure. I think for me, if you're putting the two of them in front of me, I'm picking Mass Effect 2 just purely because it's one that I'm most likely to go back and replay.
It's because you can pump Blue Woman in it. That's what it is, Liam. Just say it out loud. It's fine. Like, you can copulate with blue aliens in it and robots.
yeah. And big weird aliens that look like the Ibiza final boss.
I can't even remember Mass Effect 2. I remember 1 and I remember 3. But Mass Effect 2 feels like, something has hit me in the head one time in my life and I've just completely erased that game from my memory. And I've played it recently. Like I've played it on that collection as well, but that's maybe one that I'll go back to in the future.
You should. You absolutely should. I think it's one of the great. It's not even just like the best RPG shooter. It's like definitely just one of the greatest games ever made, and it might be in like my overall top 10 games ever. Like it's just everything about it.
Is that maybe a conversation for another episode where we actually go through our top 10 favourite games of all time?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's probably one we'd have to mask. You know what I mean? Just like they'll bait and switch. It's like, oh yeah, we've got PS6 leaks for you. Nah, I'm only kidding. It's a top 10 game. But yeah, no, I think that's a good idea for us to go through. We'll add that into the doc and, stay tuned for when that one lands. But we'd have to decide, Scott. I mean, what?
I'm happy for Mass Effect to win it. I think that Destiny is a reach that I can't fight for because I don't have any skin in the game on this.
Well,
I feel like if you're talking about games where you can, you can degrade yourself in front of blue people and shoot aliens in the head afterwards, then that's the game for me. So Mass Effect 2 wins it.
Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. Talk about Mass Effect. Yeah. So, yeah, well, there we have it. Congratulations into Mass Effect 2. You are the latest addition to the Pixel Picks list under our best RPG shooter game. Next week, we don't actually know what it is next week. Still to decide. But it should be a doozy. It is getting so tough because
So
not
convoluted.
only are we kind of having to... I always said this about Phase 2, the Pixel Picks Showdown, right, is that it's going to get a little bit more creative and a little bit more specific in the genres. But also there's a lot of really good games on there. The ones that kind of come to mind first and you can't pick them again.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. It's a challenge. There will come a point where about 31 entries off of it being 100 now. It doesn't fall in line exactly with the episode count, just because of Christmas specials and stuff like that. But there will be a top 100 showdown that will happen very soon, Scott.
Oh my god.
But
the longest episode in human history.
That's it. It could be for episode 100. We could just do like a 6-hour episode. But 24 hour live.
Just the two of us arguing whether Super Mario Brothers 2 is better than Mass Effect 2.
We'll have no games left at that point. We'll be absolutely gubbins at the end of that.
That's the reason we'll just end the podcast. We're so angry at each other. Like, episode 100 is the limit, folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, no, I want Tomb Raider 3 on that list. Absolute garbage. But yeah, the thing is, though, is we've still got a bit to go in it, right? But,
Indeed.
Inside baseball here, it does make me wonder. I'm a little bit sad because I don't know what will happen when we get to the 100th one in the list. Do we make it even more convoluted, or does it?
Do we change it? Do we change it at that point?
Who knows? That's a problem for Liam and Scott tomorrow. But Liam and Scott today need to wrap things up, which means that does bring us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. And remember to support small independent games media out there. So if you like what you hear and enjoyed the podcast, just please share on social media. Tell your friends about us or leave us a wee 5-star review. That does help us out and it makes a massive difference. Now, Scott, where can our lovely listeners find you online if they want to engage with you?
Engage. Come and get engaged to me, man. It's llamaman.bsky.social. I have a harem of Blue Sky followers now just wanting to engage with this, man. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm tired.
We're getting there. If you want to come chat with me online, you can find me on Blue Sky at carmelite.bsky.social, or you'll probably find me gushing all things King of the Hill this week. Yeah, I've still in that kind of little lurch with Blue Sky now. I just don't know what it is, man. There's sometimes a lot of the positive stuff can actually have a negative impact, and you're like that. Why does nobody talk to me? You know what I mean? Like, you put stuff out there, and I feel like Homer Simpson reading these place cards at the nuclear power plant.
Shout it into the abyss.
Yeah, it's just, But I'll always just be on there, just kind of skulking about and just talking about whatever we're playing, as well as on this fine podcast. And of course, a massive thank you to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. Please go show him some of that sweet, nasty love. Check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. And you, of course, can listen to the next episode and all the past episodes as well on all the major podcast platforms. And you can follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. And if you want to, write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave a wee comment below and just let us know what your thoughts are next gen, how your day's going, all the usual stuff. It's always lovely to hear from you. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
I thought you glitched there.
Got you.